What's up, Burnham?
Yo, what's up, Forrester?
Here with Justin Jaybird Burnham, local MMA fighter and rap mogul.
Mogul. Like that word, mogul.
So what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Man, same old, same old. Nothing's really changed about me. Besides I got the upcoming fights and whatnot, and other than that,
So when's your next fight?
it's supposed to be the 30th of this month, and that's January, for West Michigan Wars. And it's supposed to be in Dowagiac, Michigan. Not sure of the location yet, but you know me, I'm going to show up regardless.
This would be fight number what? 36?
No, 33.
33?
33.
I know they're getting up there.
Yeah, I'm getting up there. I'm ready to. I was hoping to get to at least 40 fights, and I'll probably call it even by then. Due to a couple injuries that I need to pay attention to. But that's just for like future safety stuff.
Right. It's a hell of an amateur career, man.
Yeah, man. It's been a ride. It taught me a lot. So I'm taking I'm taking a lot with me as I go. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah, for sure. Anybody watching, I apologize for our shitty video quality. It's a work in progress. I've been messing with it, trying to get rid of the lag. So it's kind of trial and error.
It's like a fog.
Yeah, it's in 480p. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
this is what you used to watch.
Back in
This is what you used to watch Power Rangers on when you were 7. It looked like this, like shit.
I miss Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally.
One of the Power Rangers got arrested. I just seen it on the CNN thing when I was looking. I don't know too much about it, but
I'm hoping it's Billy, the blue one.
the gay one.
Is he gay?
Yeah, he's gay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
David Yost. Yeah, he's gay.
Which one is it? Now you got me curious.
No, I don't think it was one of the original ones. But I will tell you, you know what I really want to see?
What's that?
Jason David Frank. You know who he
Yeah,
is, right?
yes, I do.
The Green Ranger. I want to see him fight CM Punk in the UFC. And they're not trying to make it. Like, they're not trying to let Jason David Frank in, man.
Do you think he's ready for that?
Jason David Frank?
No.
Oh,
Punk
oh no. I think
Like,
Jason David Frank would fucking destroy him, dude. Because he's a legit martial artist. He's not.
Yeah.
He hasn't just been
Yeah.
like wearing small panties and wrestling around with Hulk Hogan for the last 25 years. Like,
Yeah.
he's a legit martial artist.
I'm kind of confused though. Why all of a sudden they're letting him just jump into it? What's his credentials? I mean, Brock Lesnar had his credentials.
Right,
Of
well,
the wrestling. What's CM Punk's?
Had there been no WWE for Brock Lesnar at all, off of his collegiate wrestling career, he could have went exactly where he went in the UFC. He could have been a champ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just off of his NCAA credentials,
Yeah.
he's an amazing wrestler.
Yeah. Yes, he is. But
so-
what's CM Punk's?
I
don't know his credentials. Period.
I know he's training with the Gracies though, and has been for the last couple of years. So like, he's rolling and stuff, dude. But
I mean, my thing is like his jump. Like, I'm fighting for UFC. Shouldn't he have a couple from a?
it's his marketability.
Yeah, I mean,
That's all it is.
money talks. I mean,
Right, he's gonna put asses in the seats, and that's the big thing. You know what I mean?
yep.
The same thing that the draw that Lesnar had,
Mhm.
and that's why he got to a title fight as quick as he did.
Yeah,
Fighting Couture
yep.
was because, I mean,
Yeah, his credentials. I mean, he's held a title in everything that he's done. He's always held the heavyweight title in everything that he's done.
but he's brought,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He brought so many fans over, and I think that as a whole, I think that CM Punk is good for the sport.
Yeah.
I also think he's gonna get fucking destroyed as soon as he fights a legit martial artist. He's gonna find out real quick that this is a lot different from man
Yep.
panties.
Yep.
And especially, you know what I mean? Like, especially being on that kind of level. Like, I don't see how you go to the UFC with 0 amateur fights.
At all. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just didn't see why they were willing to make his jump. But as you said, the marketable itself.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, he's extremely marketable. Like, that's the big thing.
And even though it's wrestling, but you could tell in some of his matches that he trains in a martial arts kind of way. Especially with his kicks that he throws, he gets them up there pretty high and has a very well balance. But I mean, that don't mean anything. They train to do all that stuff anyways. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm going to be there to watch it. It got my attention. Will he destroy somebody?
Well, the thing is he's fighting. They kind of released a guy that they were talking about him fighting. He's 1-0 right now or something like that, or 0-1.
Who's that?
I don't know. He was some guy that's just kind of like on the come up right now, but he's got a fight scheduled, and they said he wins the next fight, then he'll fight CM Punk. But it wasn't like a big marketable name, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I say, you throw him against. I don't know where he's even fighting. I think he's fighting at 70. I say you throw him against Robbie Lawler right off the jump and let him get destroyed.
Yeah.
Let him fight Carlos Condit.
Yeah, just go ahead.
He'll never come back.
Feed him to the wolves. Yeah, this wasn't for me.
Right.
Yeah.
He'll find out real quick that that's not his thing. But so what's up, man? You got any more music out?
Well, I'm working with a few guys, and that's Rez. He's been around for a while. Also, Player Ant. He's been around for a while doing battles. And he's lost quite a few, and then he's won quite a few, and he's just every day the man is progressing.
Is there a scene around here for battles still?
I believe so. I'm not too sure of the channel. I could probably pull it
up.
Oh,
are they all done online, or
yeah, they're all done.
Do they like meet in a parking lot and go back and forth, or how does this work?
No, this is like I don't know where they meet at, but they have their own. For example, their own background. They have everything. It's pretty legit, and it actually caught my attention because I can't believe that it was actually around that long and I didn't even know about it. But see, I wasn't battling. I was just in the studio writing. I never really cared to battle. I mean, I used to do it when I was in high school, you know what I mean? And that's what kind of got me known for my music, but I wasn't into battling because, I didn't care for the possible beefs it came with and, people got, their panties in a bunch and everybody, took it, personally or, and I'm like, okay, so what are we battling for if we're going to fight? You know what I mean? I don't get that. Like, if I fight you, it's going to be in a cage. I don't got time for this, outside crap. I'm a grown man.
Right.
With 8-year-olds, so I didn't want nothing to do with that.
Do you have any shows or anything coming up or nothing on the horizon right now?
Nothing on the horizon right now. I want to do a show once the album comes out. The album is going to be, it's called COE Rise or Die. The album by yours truly. And it's going to be dropping on my birthday, August 21st.
How many tracks are you?
I'm going to be doing a total of 12 plus an intro and outro. So you're looking at 14. Yeah.
Is this will be your
possible
second
DVD?
CD?
No, I haven't even done.
You've put mixes out though, haven't you?
I put a mix out here and there just to get the attention to let them know what I was cooking up, but I never put out like a mix or anything with that. I wasn't.
Right.
And you remember because right when I started doing shows when I got into mixed martial arts. And you know better than anybody. I got addicted to it, and I just kind of put music on the shelf. It was always there. My studio was always there. It was always there, but it was on the shelf. And once I won that title, and the title wasn't as glorified today, but back then it was.
Right.
The tapped out title, and now when I look back at it, it ain't nothing. I'm just being honest.
Those were the shit. Everybody wanted one.
Yeah, everybody wanted one, and I wanted one, and after winning one. It was just addicting. I wanted to go to the bigger leagues. I wanted to go to MFL. I wanted to do this and that, and I just started doing those things and kind of put music on the shelf. And I want to apologize to anybody out there wanting to hear my music. It was it's one of those things where, I wanted to do that at the time, and but once these last few fights are done of mine, I'll be 100% with music. An album will come out on my birthday.
Right.
Mark my words. So
yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, but after the album comes out, then we'll be booking shows. Got a few collabs coming up. I'll be probably doing something with Lady T, and she's about 23 years old, I believe, and her fan base is growing very, very well. She's very impressive. You know what I mean? In some talks with Aaron, we've been talking about some things here and there. A few people that we don't really want to disclose yet.
Right. Right. Yeah, he's blowing up, dude.
Yeah, and I'm very happy for him that he's blowing up. Because the man is a grinder. He goes for it. He goes and gets it.
Right.
And I believe he got a huge tour coming up as well.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so he, and he just had a baby. By the way, congrats, A-Rod. But yeah, he just had a baby, and yeah, I mean, he, so he's just kind of doing the daddy thing, and before he does his tour.
Right.
So.
Right. I trying to figure out the sound quality here. It doesn't look from the mixer that it's sounding the greatest, but we'll continue anyway.
Yeah.
So how did you get into rapping?
Just when I was young, I was just always into music. It didn't matter what was playing. It didn't matter whether it was rock or whether it was R&B. I was more focused on rock and rap itself. I was always in my room. This is back in the day, when we only had cassettes, and I would hit record and spit something, rewind it, play it,
Right.
back, that kind of stuff back in, and that's kind of how I got into music, and just started meeting people in hallways and battling at school, and this was at the time where things weren't so, everybody was all, oh, I can't believe you said that. This was all more like who's better. But,
Right.
As times have changed, that's when, you kind of got to back away from that kind of drama because everybody, pulls guns out first before.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, before throwing hands. And
Don't need none of that.
nah, I just want to put music out and help other people get put out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I'm way too fragile to get shot.
we all are. Bullet ain't got no name on it, and I don't care how big of a man you are. It's something else. What's going on nowadays with people? It's sad to see at the same time.
Yeah. Again, I apologize for the video. Talking to Ryan, he said it's like watching Minecraft.
Like watching Minecraft?
Yeah. It's not skipping though.
No.
I got to find a nice happy medium with my with my encoder. It's all new to me.
Yeah, because I was saying I was checking out your earlier video with Cruz and Eli, and it didn't
look that bad.
No, I mean,
this is what it should look like right here, like it's running through the encoder.
so what's it, that's
but
what's
when it
looking
gets
like.
to YouTube, yeah, it looks like fucking an 8-bit video game.
Maybe the contrast. You could run the contrast from here, can't you?
I'd have to stop the stream and start over
Yeah.
to do it, so I'm not worried about it right now. But
I'm making it in the works. You'll get it.
yeah, I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
So you got 2 fights coming up, both for Joel.
Yeah, for Joel Chapman, for West Michigan Wars. And I want to do that before the sanctioning starts because, I love the UFC rules, the knees, the elbows,
Right.
and when those are taken away, a lot of my arsenal is taken away as far as like certain kicks you can do and, headshots you can do. And,
Right.
that takes away a lot of my aggressive arsenal. So,
Let me hit your thing. Yeah. So, are you excited about sanctioning in Michigan?
you know what? To be honest, I am because to be honest, it's about time. You know what I mean? At first, people were like, I don't want sanctioning, because they just want to hop in there. But you need to understand the risk you're taking when you're hopping in there because you could get hurt. You could get extremely hurt. You could catch a disease, blood work and physicals, and having a ambulance on hand and having doctors on hand and having everything is the best precaution, and when you go to some of the shows, I've been to some ridiculous ass shows, you know what I mean? I've been to some really ridiculous shows, and to tell you what, I've seen people get hurt and just have to get carried out, and we're taking them to the car when they should have been rushed by ambulance.
Yeah,
and it's
for
like,
sure. Or what's even worse is when somebody's seriously hurt
and they don't know what
they have to call an ambulance, and then you have to wait on the ambulance to get there.
Yeah, because nobody knows what to do, and and that's precious time. Every little minute is precious time.
Right,
You know what I mean? So
I definitely am a big fan of there always being a medic on hand when
a
what
real
I mean?
medic.
Right.
Yeah.
I went to one show, dude, that was in. We got a call. Ryan's calling in.
Right.
Yes. Hang on one second. and I will patch you in. Hello. Hello.
I went to one show.
Oh, all right. I guess not.
Well, Ryan was calling in from his butt. No.
Fuck me, right? Hello. Hello.
Ryan, you there?
Hey, you there? My mic thing. Ryan, you there, buddy? It's number 4. There you go. Hey, can you hear me?
Ryan was calling in.
Hey, can you hear it?
It's a delay.
Hey, Ryan, turn your speakers off, buddy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You got to turn your sound off on your phone.
Yeah. Ryan, you there, buddy?
You hear? It's like a delay.
You gotta turn the sound off on your phone, buddy. We're getting the show back at us again. He'll call back when he figures it out, I guess.
Right.
So you've got those 2 fights coming up. Oh yeah, well I think I was telling the story about sanctioning. I went to a show that was in a horse barn up in Adrian, Michigan, and the medic was a school nurse.
Was a school.
Delay?
Ryan,
Hey, what's up?
hey, what's up, man?
What's up, Ryan?
That was weird shit.
Had to turn your speakers off, dude.
Yeah, the Bluetooth that the phone was hooked up to, it was playing through there, so you couldn't hear me when I was talking. But not only that, there's like a minute delay. I was sitting there watching the video, and then on my wife's phone, and I was watching the video on my phone. And so I was,
Right.
I don't know, it was, just,
We
it was all really tricky.
we could hear the audio from the show, like as you were watching it on the phone, coming back through.
Yeah.
Because we're set on a delay.
It's all
So-
clear now, it seems like.
Yeah, the video quality is really sketchy on this one. Sorry about that.
No, but the video earlier today was really good, and the sound was good too. But then the video started getting really laggy.
Right. I don't think this one's
The
not
sound-
laggy
the
at all, though,
sound-
is it?
The sound stayed right with it the whole time, except for like 1 or 2 times it like completely randomly cut out, but then it came back in just a couple seconds later.
Right.
The sound was never really a problem, other than that though.
Yeah, video's been my downfall so far with this thing. I've really been trying to figure it out.
It's a give or take.
you get it?
You'll get it right, yeah.
Yeah. So what's up, man? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I'm just sitting here drinking about half a fifth into some Fireball right now.
Oh wow,
Ooh.
white girl wasted.
White girl wasted.
Not yet. That's a whole fifth.
I'm drinking a Seagram's Grape Fizz cheerleader drink right now because I didn't go to the store to get beer today.
Me.
You got some Tanqueray, right?
Yeah.
That's what Burnham's drinking. He's finally finishing up that Tanqueray that's been in there for a couple months.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
a couple months.
I bet Tanqueray and Grape Fizz would be great.
I don't know.
Just enough to teach you that you hate your life.
Right. Tanqueray's never good the next day. That's for
nah,
sure.
never.
Oh. So what do you think about the UFC card tomorrow? Did you see Dominic Cruz and T.J. Dillashaw?
That's a hard one. Cruise all day, though.
You think so?
I do.
What's your pick on that one, Ryan?
Oh, I haven't really even looked at it, to be honest with you.
Who'd you say? You said Cruz?
I
say Cruz all day.
All day.
But Cruz is coming back off of a layoff. But I think he fought Mizugaki though.
Yeah.
So he's had a comeback fight and he destroyed him. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Which,
I mean,
who normally has to cut the most amount of weight to fight at that weight class?
Dillashaw.
Probably Dillashaw. I would say.
Dillashaw. Yeah.
Would you say that it's a pretty extreme amount?
No, he's a smaller guy. I think he makes. I mean, nobody at that level makes weight easily. But I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's a fairly easier cut for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Cruz is just naturally a little guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gotta keep in mind that a lot of the guys that are fighting right now, this is like probably the first time in their professional career fighting and not rehydrating with IVs and stuff. So
Right, with the
it's gonna be interesting. I think you're gonna see a lot of the guys that are closer to the natural weight are gonna end up being more dominant because they have more in the tank.
right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to run into a lot of people that are going to have to move up a weight class.
Yeah.
You
And
look
that's how
at
it should be, honestly.
right. Well, I mean,
I
this,
would rather see them open up a weight class at say 230 and just everyone bump up a little bit.
right. Yeah, I definitely think there should be something between 205 and 265. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think you're seeing like with McGregor. I think his next fight's at 55 instead of 45.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have guys that are moving up because they can't make the weight. And I think this is the best thing for the sport as far as like safe, for a safety standpoint, because I think if you try to do same day weigh-ins, it's not going to work because people are going to cut all that weight the same day and they're going to get in dehydrated and they're going to get rattled around and you're going to have a lot more deaths and a lot more injuries inside of the cage.
Yep. Same day weigh-ins though. That's a thing now. I mean,
no, but I mean it's been tossed around like wrestling does same day weigh-ins.
Wow.
But
I knew
wrestling,
that.
you're also not going in and kicking this guy in the head.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then I also think with the IV, these guys are cutting way down and then rehydrating with the IV, and then
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and then going in. But the problem with that is you can mask PEDs with the IV.
Yep. Very easily too. You know what I
You
mean?
can like EPO and stuff like that. Like you can mask it with the IV. So I think it's a good thing.
That's the main reason that they are that they banned it, correct?
Yeah, because people were blood doping and hiding it with the IV. And it's crazy, dude. Like these tests that they're doing are so fucking strict. They can literally tell if you have used an IV to rehydrate because they can trace. I think I don't quote me on this. I think they can trace either like the saline particles or like the particles from the bag that are in the saline in your blood.
That's interesting. To be
So
honest
they
with
can.
you.
I mean, dude, they've got this down so well now that they can tell if you've used an IV.
Well, here, let me ask you this, because I literally just thought of it. Could a guy, let's say, 3 months out from his fight, have a bunch of blood drawn out of him and cut a whole bunch of weight and actually have his own blood put back into him?
I've heard of it. I've heard of it done before, but
can they check for that? I mean, is there really any way to do it?
I think so. I think they can because I think again
Really?
it comes down to the bag, dude.
Really?
Because like
They
the saline, I mean, I can understand the saline because it's it's synthetic of what your body produces, but it's not exactly your own blood being put back into you.
Right. No, I think they can tell from the bag, dude. Like the particles off of the, you know what I mean? Like they got it down to the actual cell, and it does something
Yeah.
to the cell to make the cell different than what it would be if it
Yep.
naturally comes
Yep.
out of your body. And they could tell that it's been tampered with.
Huh.
So I mean,
And
like,
you know what? That's all good, and they're making it harder and harder for people to cheat and whatnot. And I think that's all good. But you also have at the same aspect, if everything was open and everybody had the option to do whatever they wanted, they're also at a level playing field there then as well.
I see, like,
So-
if this were baseball or football, I would agree that you open it up and you let everybody do it. But it's so different with combat sports because people are actually physically putting their hands on another person, and it gives you more endurance. It
Yep.
gives you you hit harder. And my main thing is like if the guy that's on steroids and the guy that's not on steroids, they get to the third round, the guy that's all jacked up on roids is still fresh and he's still hitting hard while this
Yep.
other guy's wore down.
Yeah.
He's tired. He's susceptible to brain injuries and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? Like you look at Vitor Belfort versus Luke Rockhold. Sorry.
Luke.
I was thinking of Jake Ellenberger. I don't know. Luke
Wait,
Rockhold.
wait.
But you watch Vitor and Luke Rockhold, and Vitor is all jacked up on TRT, and he's a completely different kind of fighter, just a completely different animal. And he hits Rockhold with this wheel kick that's fucking crazy that he would never ever hit off of TRT.
Wow.
And and you know, you could tell like the only reason this dude hit this kick was because he was juiced.
Man.
Yeah, you know, I understand that. And for somebody who is a fan of the actual art form of martial arts, and you know they're student and they study that, it definitely adds appreciation to that. But for honestly, for like the bulk of people who watch the UFC, they would rather see guys in there juiced up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, dude.
Smashing it
I would-
out
I-
and duking it out for 5 rounds straight, which you can't do unless you're on steroids for the most part. So
Well-
I think they're gonna find that in trying to level the playing field, they're actually gonna cut down on their market. So,
I
and I
don't
think
know.
Pride knew what they were doing in that aspect.
Well, Pride was extremely dirty though, man. Pride did a lot of questionable stuff to make their fights better that was beyond just steroids, because Pride had they encourage their fighters to do steroids, which is whatever, a Japanese league. But the thing about Pride that they would also do is they would also set fights up to is according to fighters to sway like how it would go. Like if you watch some of the old
Yeah,
Vanderlei
yeah.
Silva fights, if this would literally be every Silva fight. If he would get taken down and they would spend like a minute on the ground, even if the guy that had him down was in a dominant position, they would stand them back up and give him a yellow card just to push the action for Vanderlei to get the knockout, because that's what people in Japan wanted to see.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, so it's you know, like if you're trying to keep it legit across the board, man, you have to think of the fighter. You have to have fighter safety and stuff like that. And you know, I could see it going both ways because the UFC is up to some dirty shit lately. Like, did you see the like all this shit with the Reebok deal?
Yeah.
Did you
You
see?
mean where they stole the fighter's livelihood?
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what happened. But did you see what they did to Matt Mitrione this week at the press conference stuff?
No, what did
He showed up wearing a pair of Nike shoes. They made him take off his shoes and do the fucking interview barefoot because he wasn't wearing Reebok shoes.
Well, who did they find because he put a piece of an American flag
Donald
and
Cerrone?
sewn onto his shorts? Yeah.
that
Donald
was
Cerrone?
Cerrone, yeah.
Yeah, it's bullshit,
And then
dude.
it wasn't like he was like, you know, he wasn't advertising Nike, he wasn't advertising Adidas,
I think
wasn't
he
advertising Muscle Farm, whatever it be.
I think he
It's
had
the
a
flag that he sewed on meant something to him.
I think he had
Plus,
an
it's an American flag.
right. I think he had a Greg Jackson patch sewed on too, along with the American flag.
Was that it? 'Cause
Yeah,
the article
no,
I read
they
was
they find him for the
just
flag
about
too.
flag.
But even then, dude, you
Wow.
know, like it's a gym, and you know they train these people that are your talent, so they should have a platform to you know advertise their gym, so that way it would bring more people in that they can train to send up to the UFC. Like I just
You know what you did is you took away the marketing aspect of it, and whenever you have like a fair trade market, you have people putting out better products. That's why your fight shirts, your fight shorts were good, and then Reebok took over,
And they
and they
suck.
can't even put the right fucking name on the shit. now.
right, no, everything.
They were
Dude,
terrible.
the last one that
I
I
can
seen.
guarantee if Reebok was paying a fighter to have their stuff on there like everybody else was, that would have been right.
They
But they have a blanket field of it, and they can do whatever they want, and it really doesn't matter anymore.
right. The last one that I seen, they did Paige Van Zant's fight kit, and her nickname is 12 Gauge, and they spelled Gauge wrong.
It's-
It said Paige 12 Gauge Van Zant.
Oh God.
And then the one before that I seen that was pretty fucked up, dude, is they put an American flag on Conor McGregor's stuff.
Oh.
And then I've also seen them do instead of Jose Aldo or Anderson Silva, they made an Anderson Aldo fight kit.
Oh no.
Like the guy that's doing the fucking fight kits is he needs a
It's
new
almost
job.
like they're doing it purposely.
Like they're hiring from a temp service
Yes,
because that's the only way that
Forge
this
Industrial
shit can,
Staffing.
Right. That's the only way this shit can be going on.
Or you got,
Disgruntled
there might
employee.
be some marketing behind that too, because people are talking about it. They weren't before. But
Right. So
yeah, I
so
don't
let me
know.
ask you this: as people become free agents and they end their contracts and stuff with the UFC, um, do you see more people going to Bellator or other organizations? Because I know you're a huge Ben Henderson fan, and his contract's up. And there's a company called Road FC that's in South Korea, and they had offered him $200,000 a fight, and it's marginally more than I think he makes with the UFC, given the Reebok deal now. But see, the only thing that I think that would be bad about that is you never know how many fight cards they're going to put on before they fold.
Yep.
Right. And I see that, but you know, for Ben Henderson, I hope that he takes deals like that, honestly, because he has one for $200,000 a fight, and okay, he does one or two fights, they fold. Well, then guess what? There's going to be something else. There just is.
Right.
When you're a fighter at that level, you're going to have something else.
Well, I say yes or
And
no.
I think, you know, for him, he's going to be able to continue doing well at making money. The problem is, for me as a fan, am I going to be able to watch him, or am I
Right.
going to have to buy all these outrageous cable packages to see what's going on? That's what sucks.
Right. Well, see, the thing that
When a fighter's in the UFC, I know I can watch him when I want to watch him.
right. Well, see, the thing with that is though that I'm kind of concerned with is if he does go, and say he's over there for a year, which is a fighter at that level normally fights 2 maybe 3 times in a busy year. So say he goes over there and
give or
he's
take,
he's
yeah.
out of sight, out of mind for a year. You know what I mean? Or heaven forbid, like he goes over there and he loses a fight over there. Where does that put him trying to come back? Does anybody want him?
Right.
Out of sight, out of mind. As well as I do. When people aren't looking at you and you're not in the spotlight and you're not active, then you're less likely for people to want you to be on the card, or less likely for people to want you.
Yep.
Well, I know for me, I'm not a fan of workers' unions for your average everyday laborer, but I do think that there's a reason that every professional sport out there has a union involved in their contracting, and I think that these UFC fighters need to get one formed. I think it's to their benefit. Now, obviously, we've seen in each sport where it has hurt them when they get too greedy. But I think at this point in the development that it's a good thing,
Right.
as long as they keep themselves in check.
Right. Yeah. I'm very interested to see where he ends up.
I think it will end up in the union. I mean, football, basketball, all of those things.
Yeah.
Those are all
Yeah, but see,
unionized,
the problem with the union and stuff that they're trying to do is the Fertitta brothers and Zuffa. They own, I think it's Grand Station Hotels. Well, they've had a huge problem with some kind of I don't know if it's like a cooks union or some kind of union with their hotels, right? And those are the people that are trying to push all these UFC fighters to get involved with them and in some sort of union for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a union that's being trying to be started by the wrong people.
Okay.
So it's kind of like I see both sides of it. They need to they need somebody to step up and to do it, but the problem is they're anybody that critiques or criticizes seems to be gone rather quickly these days. Like Stitch Durant, like he's gone. They try to sue the shit out of Vanderlei for saying stuff, which I think he was kind of talking out of his ass. But, like there's, they had the several fighters that filed that class action lawsuit that try to get, money from them. So it's just going to take the right group or the right person to step up to do it. And it's just a hard thing to do right now. But I think people are getting more and more fed up with things like the Reebok deal. And I know a lot of your top tier fighters are getting tired of getting screwed out of a title shot.
Yeah.
Like you look at Frankie Edgar, man, he starts Chad Mendez in the first round with a hook and put him out cold.
Yep.
And
Good night.
what else do you do to get a title shot? I mean, that was one of the most impressive fights I seen toward the end of the year. What else do you do to warrant a title shot? You know what I mean? Like these guys are sick of getting screwed. They're not making any money. They're not. You know what? What's the incentive to stay? I think your other promotions are probably the way to go, and they're losing fighters at a big rate. The problem is they with like Bellator, they're owned by Viacom, which is ungodly amounts of money.
Yeah, definitely.
So they're set money wise. Even if they're taking a loss, they can throw money at it from now until the end of time, and they'll be fine.
I think here's something the UFC could do that would be smart on a business aspect is they don't have to be the highest paid people out there. They have a good backing. They're not going to go anywhere. They need from top to bottom. They need to offer a livable wage off the people that they do have, off the fighters that they do have. And when you know that 52 weeks out of the year, for as long as you fight, you're going to make enough money to live on and support your family. That's a lot.
Right.
These other organizations can't offer that because you can go there, you can fight one time, and they're shut down. So, give a livable wage, make the security something that they don't want to leave from. You know what? Your security, when you want to pay me, $3,000 a fight plus a $1,500 bonus from Reebok for fighting, and that's all I'm getting now. I don't care. I'm going to go and I'm going to make the $30,000 off this other promotion, whether it's one fight or not.
Right, because that's 3-4 years worth of fighting to make that money in the UFC.
Yeah, exactly.
And
they pay your fighters a livable wage.
Yeah, I agree.
And you have security there.
Well,
that's all that they need to do.
Not only that, they need to be making more money on their sponsorship stuff too, man. You took that away from them. At least give them something.
Yeah, because I mean, once you lose your job security, I mean,
what do you have?
What do you have? I mean,
you look at you take Brendan Schaub. He good heavyweight.
Yeah.
He had a good career. He's a hell of a fighter, tough guy. Didn't have the never a champion. He got up there probably top 5, top 6 there for a little bit. Dude, he wasn't even a champion. And when the Reebok deal happened, he released like his bank statements and stuff, like his numbers. Like
never a champion though.
No, what he was going to take a hit for, dude. He was losing $100,000 a fight from sponsorship, dude. After the Reebok deal.
Wow.
Like, how do you take that kind of money? Like, how do you take that kind of money away from somebody?
Yeah.
I've also heard Schaub say that he knows that when that deal was made, that the UFC and the people making the decision for that did not know that that's the kind of money that they were making. And that information was never released to them. I have heard him say that.
And it shouldn't be released to anybody. Mm-hmm. It's nobody's fucking business.
But for them to make a fair deal with Reebok, they would have to know where the fighters were making their money at.
No, they were getting money off of it some way, so they didn't give a shit. So they, you know what I mean? They rolled with it.
Right.
And they were, they were cutting out all these different problems that they were having with different people stepping on toes for different, different marketing stuff and things like that. And they tried to cut it all across the board, and they ended up fucking all the fighters. And I don't know how long the Reebok deal runs for or when it's going to end, but until that's over, dude, I think they're going to lose some big name people, like Phil Davis. Phil Davis has already went to Bellator. You've seen Rampage leave and go to Bellator and come back because he didn't like it there. Tito Ortiz is gone. But the thing is they don't have a lot of big name marketable people yet. No. But they're drawing people in with nostalgia fights right now. Like you look at Shamrock and Kimbo. Well, now Shamrock's fighting Hoist Gracie. You know what I mean? And then you've got Kimbo fighting, what is it, Dada 5000 or Day 5000, whatever the other...
Day.
The other, Street Fighter or whatever he is.
Day.
They're just trying for nostalgia fights right now, and that's, how they're making their money. I am excited to see Ken Shamrock get choked out by Hoist Gracie again, though.
Yeah, again.
I definitely think that's going to happen.
I think the same thing though with that Kimbo fight with him. What did you think about that fight? I'm just curious.
What, with him and Shamrock?
Yeah,
it looked fake.
It
looked set up.
Thank you. Yeah,
where they clinched up and they go ear to ear, and it looks like they're talking for a minute and a half. But I will tell you that punch was real as shit. They hit Ken Shamrock in the face.
Yeah, I mean,
but up until that point, I don't know.
I don't know. There was speculation about that.
I don't see I don't see what Shamrock's trying to prove. I mean, but you let them fight, dude. They've, what they've done. They've earned the right to fight.
Yeah, and I get that. How old is he now? Would you say?
Shamrock's like 51.
Really?
Yeah,
So
51, 52, something like that. But I don't see this fight going any other way besides Hoist Gracie winning because, dude, Hoist Gracie's gotten better at jiu-jitsu since UFC 1.
Yeah.
Now, has Ken Shamrock gotten better at anything since UFC 3 when he first was, on the scene? Probably not. Probably not. He's probably on the steady decline.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about jiu-jitsu, dude. You can get good at jiu-jitsu until you're 90. You never learn it all, and you always get better.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's not UFC 1 anymore either. I mean,
No, it's not, but that's what I'm saying. He's fighting somebody else who hasn't evolved.
yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not... Now, if he was getting in there to fight Matt Hughes again, I would say don't let him fucking do it because he's going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
I think you're in the UFC. I think your bottom tier guys would smoke Hoist Gracie nowadays, just because the evolvement of the sport. Like how things evolve, and you've got people that are, not that he didn't grow up in martial arts, but they're growing up in boxing, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, all these other aspects of it. Where Hoist Gracie was brought up from day one in just jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's really trained much but jiu-jitsu the entire time.
Well, let's be honest. What made him great was the fact that no one had any idea what he was even doing.
Right.
They had no idea what he was even trying to do. Like,
Right,
should
well-
I defend it against us? I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. This looks stupid to me. He's not hitting me. I'll let him do it. Oh, shit, that sucks. That's exactly what was happening.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's, people were like, oh, I'm just going to stand back up, and then they were choked. Or they were caught in an armbar, you know what I mean?
Quickly.
But now everybody's so even you look at guys like Chuck Liddell, man. He was dominant 5-6 years ago? No,
Yeah,
maybe
longer
longer than that.
Longer than that.
Well, 8-9 years ago, whatever. And then regardless, but then you look at people that, they came up and then he got knocked out 5 out of 7 fights in a row.
Yeah.
It's because people evolved and he didn't. You know what I mean?
He stayed the same style too. You know what I mean? It never really switched up.
Well, you look at how many champions, like how many times the belt switched over this year. I mean, let's see, we got a new heavyweight champion. Kane lost his strap.
Yep.
To Verdum.
Yep.
You got a new 205 because John Jones can't keep coke out of his nose. You've got Daniel Cormier.
It was his car.
You got Holly Holmes.
You've had 185 switch from Anderson Silva to Chris Weideman to Luke Rockhold. Mm-hmm. You've got 70, which is Robbie Lawler, and he arguably, I think, lost that last fight to Condit, but he retained it, so he's had it for a while now. But I mean, it went GSP to Hendricks to Lawler. You've got 55, which is Rafael Dos Anjos, which he got from Pettis. 45 is...
Did Pettis see Henderson this year, or was it in 2014?
No, it was in 14. It might have been 13.
No,
It might have been the end of 13.
I think it was 14, man.
I'm not sure. I will wiki that real quick.
Yeah, I thought all that happened this year.
I'm gonna say 14 though. Ain't it?
No, they go by so fast, dude. Let's see here. Ben Henderson lost to Anthony Pettis August 31st, 2013.
Oh, so it was 13.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
UFC 164. Yeah, it's been quite a while, man.
Wow.
Yeah, my life's going in slow motion right now, so you'll have to forgive me.
Slow motion.
Right.
Why is it slow motion?
So I mean, but you look at how many, even in the women's division stuff shaking up. So, like there's been so many belt changes in that. I think it's good for the sport. It's evolving. You're getting new names in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The one thing I can't stand is how they do an Ultimate Fighter every week.
Every week.
Like it's a new one every week, and then you don't know. Like there's so many people in the UFC I don't know because they've got their roster's like 500 people deep.
And that, that's good and that's bad.
It's good to have the depth, but dude, goddamn, if you don't know who anybody is on a card, what makes you want to spend $70 on it?
Yeah, I understand that, and I totally agree. But I mean, you look at like the title of the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. I mean, you should have a very deep roster
Yeah,
to
definitely.
legitimately claim that, because they want to be a worldwide organization and they have the best fighters in the world. Well, guess what? You're going to have the best fighters in the world, and you have all these weight classes. You're going to have a very deep roster. You probably have 100 guys in each weight class, if not more.
Right.
And
No,
at
I would.
any
Right.
point in time, any of those fighters could beat each other.
I would agree. Yeah, depending on the night. Yeah. What you're starting to see too, there's a lot of times, a lot of good fighters falling down to the undercard and the prelims and the. You know what I mean? So I mean, there's new people definitely on the come up and old people definitely on the way out. Um, but there's just so many people.
Hmm.
I would think it'd be really cool though if they would like kind of integrate them like they used to send people over to Pride from the UFC and
Right.
people from Pride
Yeah.
to you know what I mean, and people from UFC to Pride. That would be really cool. Like I would like to see some of Bellator guys come over and get their ass smoked.
Instead of the WWE guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's not the kind of
Yeah.
that's not the kind of integrating that I want to see.
Yeah.
It does put fans
Yeah,
fans there,
it puts fans there. I mean,
puts asses in the seats, I guess.
but I mean, it's like when did it not become about the fighters? Now it's all becoming about Reeboks and all this other stuff and what he's
Right.
wearing on his shorts and when I thought it was all about the fighters.
Yeah, there's a card on right now. I think the Invecta card, the
Yeah.
women's card. Cyborg's fighting tonight.
Yeah, that's tonight. What time does that start?
It started at 9. What time is it?
10:56.
Cyborg's fighting tonight. I think that's an unfair fight because she might be a dude. But
She.
oh wow.
So, Justin, you're coming out with your, you want to come out with your CD by your next birthday in August. Or do you have any other fights lined up?
I got
between now and then?
Yeah, I got January 30th. I got for West Michigan Wars, and then February 6th, a week later for West Michigan Wars, and possibly March 26th for MFL. They're looking for
Okay.
me. They're looking for me an opponent.
Are you doing any? I mean, obviously there's physical training that you're doing just to be in shape. But are you doing any skill set training that you haven't done before, or are you just trying to get in shape for them?
I'm just getting in shape for him because a lot of the stuff that I know, I've had a lot of fights, so a lot of the things that were taught to me are just there. And like Kyle was saying earlier, the sport is evolving, and and there's so much to always learn. Me personally, I just haven't picked the gym that I want to be at. I'm just not comfortable with certain people, not for any personal reasons, but I'm just I got certain personal issues of being around people. I've always been that way. I've always been somebody who's more comfortable with less people than more people. So it's really a personal struggle for me to want to go to this gym and that gym, and like I said, a lot of personal reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And
And so to train, you would have to shell out a whole bunch of money for
which
private tutors, which is very expensive,
Yeah.
especially when you're not even paid to fight.
Right. Yeah. And me personally, I love what I do. I take with me everything that I've learned. But in my opinion, though, I think you're right. Though I think that I should just open up my horizon, anyways. Whether I'm comfortable or not, just to put in that extra amount of work, because I don't know who some of my future opponents may be, but they may be evolving while I'm just staying at the same pace. So I'm making a decision here real soon. I'm just I'm just a little hesitant right now, but I know that with the fights coming up, here within 3-4 months, I'm gonna have to make the right decision.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say this now for the viewers and for people that know me. I'll just go ahead and get it out of the way now. A lot of people don't know a lot about me as far as the personal issues, and maybe I should just go ahead and put a couple of them out there. I got a anxiety issue that I've been dealing with my whole life. I never wanted to say that, but I decided to say it now. To be honest, I have trouble being around people. Heart races sometimes. I can't concentrate. I've been like that my whole life. The only problem was I didn't know what my issue was. I didn't know what my issue was. I thought it was just me. It turns out that, after doing some counseling, that I actually have an anxiety issue, and I'm finally glad to get that off my chest, to be honest with you.
Bro, it's nothing to be ashamed of, man. A lot of people get it. Dude, I get it.
Well, I thought I was just crazy at
No,
first,
bro,
you know
like
what I'm saying?
my anxiety's been getting worse and worse the older I get. The
I-
older I get, the
That's
more I
weird
just
that you
want
say
to
it
like
like that.
recluse myself and be away from people. Like if I gotta go to Walmart in the middle of the day, dude, my whole day's shot.
Yeah.
I just
When
can't
I-
deal
when
with
I was
fucking
you-
people.
Yeah.
Have you found anything that helps your anxiety?
Yeah, the doctors have prescribed me
Pot, plenty of pot.
Yeah, that always made it worse. So that's why I don't smoke as much as somebody who likes pot. For some people, it makes them paranoid. Some people, it relaxes them.
Right.
Me, it's a give or take. Sometimes it relaxes me. Sometimes I'm paranoid. So that's why I don't smoke it, because I don't know how I'm gonna feel.
Right.
Do you know what kind of strain you're getting when you do smoke it though?
Nah, I don't.
I mean,
like I said, I've never been big on it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Doctor has prescribed me something, and the reason why I decided to go ahead and just get it out of the way and say it now is because the medicine that he has been prescribing me is actually working.
Good deal.
As far as like doing live stuff like this right now, back then they would have scared the hell out of me. I'd have froze up. You know what I mean? Or I just wouldn't have said nothing. You know what I
Right.
mean? But the
I've
medicine
seen you
I'm
do
on
shows,
now.
though.
Yeah, I do shows, and those ain't easy either. And a lot of people,
No, I bet not.
A lot of people want to know, like, oh, he always wears the shades. Well, I really don't wear them for looks. I wear them for looks because obviously I'm doing a show. Why am I always wearing shades? At least I got to look nice. But I have trouble making eye contact with people. I've always had that problem.
Right.
I don't know. Like I said, I thought it was just me. So. I'm glad to get this off my chest. I'm glad that the medicine that I've been on for at least 6 months now has been working. I'm coming out of my shell more. I'm making decisions that I normally would have trouble making. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I said earlier when I was telling everybody about how I apologize, it took a while for me to get my album out, but I had them personal issues. Well, I just want to quit saying that and go ahead and say, I just been having this problem for a long, long time, and it was really hard to compete and hard to compute in my own head what it was, Yeah. But to be honest with you, Ryan, I'm glad you asked me that question. But I'm doing a lot better.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. I was a lot deeper than what I thought it was going to go when I asked that question.
Mhm. Hey, you know what? Because I'm sitting here rattling in my head, and I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just get it over with and say it? Screw it. Personal issues. Nah, just say it. That's why I said it.
No, it's nothing to be ashamed of, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm glad you're dealing with it and you're doing good, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Like I said, it goes a little deeper. I went through some things in my past, and it caused a lot of further issues. Those I won't go into detail about, but I've become a better person. I've done a lot with myself, and I didn't know at the time back then. I didn't know what was wrong, but once I finally figured out what was wrong, and doctors helped me out, and finally, after trying out 3 different kinds of medication, one has actually finally worked for the past 6 months, and I'm glad to be me again.
That's awesome, man.
So
For sure.
thank you guys. Thank you.
That all really actually surprises me quite a bit because, you've done what, close to 35 fights now? You're right around there, right?
33. I'll be on my 33rd.
Okay, so 33 plus you've done your music, and you've been in situations where you are one of 2, one of 3, one of 1 people being focused on, and that's just
Yeah.
Do you think that part of that was part of your decision to get into things like that was because it made you anxious and it was just such a rush? Because the anxiety caused your adrenaline to flow that much more.
Well,
Is that why you think?
no, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, that's actually a good way of putting it, but I'm going to say no on that. I'm going to say that, I never really cared to be around people. I never cared to do things. But when I got into martial arts and music, those are the only two things that seem to, I don't know what the other word to say, but I'll say it soothes me. It's soothing
To release.
to release physically and mentally as far as music goes, lyrics and whatnot, and saying how I feel. Microphone has always been my best tool. My hands have always been my best tool, and so the sport of MMA and my music is actually soothing to me, and I think that's why I push myself to do it more publicly as far as doing shows and fighting in front of big crowds like at MFL and stuff like that. I've never been a real big speaker like Justin. How do you feel? I just don't want to think this person. I gotta go.
Right. Thanks.
What I mean?
I'm out.
Thank you
Right.
for the fight. Yeah. But I don't. I think it was just more that I was so into it. Like I want to do this. But yeah, there was a lot of times where before a show or before a fight, I'm like, man, I don't even care to wake up right now. Like, nah, I don't care about the show today. But I always went. But I think it was more of a push because it was something that I liked,
Mm-hmm.
So
That really interested me when you said, with the anxiety, and then I started thinking about it. It was just, those are things that are very much centered around you. You can't hide yourself. You can't, you know what I mean? Like, it just intriguing to me.
Well, I didn't want a lot of people, because a lot of people, in my opinion, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say this too, a lot of people are very prejudiced. Oh, he has to take medicine to think straight. Well, I mean, that's not the case. I always thought straight, but I just didn't want to be around people, and I didn't know why I would panic. I'm like, well, I'm not scared of this person. I'm not scared of anybody around me, but why am I panicking?
Right.
What do I care?
We live in a day and age now where everybody's judgmental and everybody's butthurt about everything anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you know what I mean?
And,
Just do
and
you.
Ryan's right, because I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. I don't. So I could see why Ryan, why you're surprised, because but deep down inside, I couldn't figure out what was wrong. But now that I do, and now that I'm feeling more comfortable around people, I'm feeling more chatty. I'll just say it like that. I don't know. I feel more myself that I should have been years ago.
Do you feel like that realization will help you in the cage? That maybe, before you were sitting there trying to, you were holding something back. It was an emotional battle inside of you, and now you're not going to have that.
You know what? That's a good question, because I think that I don't know. I think that I'm going to be more clear-minded instead of doubting myself. I think that I don't know. To be honest, that's why I'm glad that these fights are coming up, because now that I'm doing better. Your question, we're about to see. We're about to see if it's going to help. If it's going to help my mental state. If it's going to help.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm going to find that out here real soon. To be honest. Yeah.
I for one, I hope it does. Not that I ever thought that you were a bad fighter, but I've enjoyed watching you, and I consider you a friend, and so I'd like you do not just good, but awesome.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, and people like you and Kyle have always been there, and maybe I don't know if you even knew any of this about me. I think you kind of had a grasp on it.
Yeah, no, we've talked about it a lot.
But I mean, there's only certain people I could talk to. Jace Williams, he's a good friend of mine, aka Young Lean, another hip hop artist, and Kyle. I've been real close to those two guys, but I couldn't really expand to other people. You've been a good friend of mine for the last few years now, and you didn't know this about me because I just, I had trouble talking to people, because it's like, who cares about my problems? So why do I tell anybody about it? But you're right, though. You can only hold so much in before you got to make a choice. But finally, now that, the medicine I'm taking is working and I feel more like a normal person. Well, personally, anyways, I feel normal again, and maybe we'll find out. We'll find out when these fights come up. We'll find out if it helps out. But I'm going to give my all, as I always have.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for your fight coming up, man. It's going to be awesome. It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
I haven't even been to a local fight in a long time.
Yeah, it's against a guy named Brandon Kazmarek. And it's weird because Brandon, I grew up knowing Brandon. And he was always a tough kid, like just as stubborn as I am, tough. And I guess I ain't seen him in years, and I guess that he lived in Kentucky for quite some years, and I knew that, but I didn't know what he was doing down there. I guess he had quite a few boxing matches down there and was very successful. And he came back to Elkhart, I'd say a few months ago, and called me out on Facebook. It wasn't like it was like, you fight now? I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? He's like, I think I could take you. It was just that simple. Like, do what now?
Right.
And I was like, this isn't boxing, right? Like, I could do anything to you. I pretty much choose. And where I'm fighting you is unsanctioned. You're going to get an elbow in the face. This ain't with boxing gloves.
Let's see some jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and he's still strong about it. He keeps posting on Facebook that he wants to fight me and that he got me. And
Look, man, sometimes you just have to put somebody to sleep with their own arm.
yeah, we'll see. I'm going to say it right now. Brandon, I hope you're ready. To be honest, though, I'm not going to doubt him because, I've had a couple fights where I doubted somebody and it took me 3 rounds to beat them.
For sure. I've seen, dude.
I'm not going to underestimate him.
I've seen guys with 45 fights lose to a guy stepping in the cage for the first time.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Know what I mean?
So
like
I'm
it
not,
happens.
Yeah, so I'm not going to underestimate him because that would be very stupid of me. And like Ryan said, I'm going on my 33rd fight. I've learned not to underestimate anybody. And Brandon, I'm not going to underestimate you. So just know that I'm going to give you my all. I hope you're ready, dude. So if you're watching, yeah, I hope you're ready. But that talk on Facebook, I'm not going to say anything back because I ain't got nothing to say. I'll show you.
Right. Not one for the talk.
Do you know roughly how much time you spent in the cage?
You know what? That's very interesting to find out. At least, if I added up all the fights, I don't know. I might have to go check that out. I don't know.
I don't know how you would check.
I'm kind of curious
point.
now. Most of my fights are on YouTube, so I'm kind of curious now.
But even though you probably got out of 32 fights, you probably only have 16 on YouTube.
I believe about close to 20. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's got to be like cage, cage time.
Yeah,
is that what you're talking about, Ryan? Is like actual cage time?
Is that what you mean, Ryan? Cage time?
Yeah, how much time you've actually?
God, dude, it's got to be hours. It's got to be over an hour.
Yeah, I'd
for
say.
Sure.
Yeah.
Out of 33 fights, you have 3 5-minute rounds has been what you've done, right?
Wait, what's that again?
It's 3 3-minute rounds.
3 3-minute rounds.
Most of them.
And at least I could think of 4 fights off the top of my head where it went to the 3rd round and went to decision. But
So
most of them, I would say, ended in the 1st round, whether I won or lost, and mostly in the 2nd.
So that's 36 minutes right off the jump right there. And then plus adding, everything that's been into the 1st and the 2nd.
And plus what's upcoming, yeah.
Right.
So
it's definitely been a long time.
This time, though, the difference between most of my fights and this coming up fights, it's going to be at 45 and 55. I'm going towards the 55 for this Brandon guy. And I feel really powerful at 55. I still feel quick, but I feel more powerful than I did at 45. So I'm anxious to see how I'm going to do, at 55 when I'm in there.
45 is no problem for the cut either.
No, it never has been.
Look healthy at 45 and perform well at 45. Yeah. No more 35.
No, I'll never do 35.
Fuck
again.
35.
Fuck 35.
That's way too skinny.
Yeah. No, I'll never do that.
I've been in situations where, confrontation was coming up, and I get such an I guess it would be the adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
That I literally feel like I am not my own body.
Like what?
Like I'm not in my own body. There's
Oh,
this
yeah,
rush,
yeah.
And I feel like I'm being
Oh,
sucked
dude.
out of my own consciousness.
Yeah.
and I'm watching
Yeah, definitely.
The seconds
Now,
before.
how many fights did you have to go through before that wasn't the reality for you again?
Well, pretty much to where I was fighting, I was like just out of my body. I was just, I would say,
where you were back in your body.
I mean, I
Because
guess,
I know the first one or two, you had that out of body experience.
what he's
Mhm.
saying, do you still
Yeah,
get, do you still get that?
yeah. I to be honest with you, every time I get in the cage lately, you know, as far as my last few fights that I had, I'd say at least my last 6. No, I was fully there. It was never an out of body. I don't know. It's just when I'm in there, I'm comfortable in there. You know, I've been in so many of them that when I'm in there, it's just like it's like a second home.
It's so weird though too, because like you're so nervous, like going to the cage or whatever.
But when you're in there,
But as soon as you get in the cage, you're nervous, and as soon as the fucking bell rings, everything goes away.
Everything goes
and
away.
there's nobody in the room but you and the other guy.
yeah, and that's probably my favorite part when the referee, you know, is like, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" When, like right then and there, I'm just totally focused on him. I'm not focused on anybody around me except for my corners.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can hear your corner, but as far as like crowd cheering and other people,
I don't.
I didn't hear shit.
I don't hear nothing, and so watching the fight, I'll be like, "It was that loud in there." You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I don't hear anything but my corners, and that's why I've always had Kyle be my corner because that voice is natural because he's been in most of my fights. Him and Eli and Jeremy have been most of my corner guys. I always hear them very well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's why I still choose to have the same corners because they're just easy for me to point out. You know, with all the people screaming and do this, do that. You know.
Ryan.
Yeah.
You gonna get in the cage this year?
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah.
If you do one, I'll do one.
I'm almost 30 years old. I have never been in the cage, and I probably never will be.
You don't hit your physical prime until you're between 28 and 35. So
You know, I'll tell you what. If I somehow stumble across enough money that I don't have to go to work every day before I'm 35 years old, I will train and I will get in that cage.
I get what he's saying. I totally agree with him. Yeah.
right.
I
I
get
don't
what
know.
you're saying. Yeah.
I've gone to the bar to have a good time, and I've ended up in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that I have a very much moral body.
Uh-huh.
You've
It affects my job and my income.
You've ended up
There
worse,
goes the insurance.
You've ended up worse off going to the bar than I've ever seen anybody in a cage fight. And the fucked up thing is you did it to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened. I really have no idea.
Buddy, we all been there. It's all good.
Well, I mean, if you talk to your mom about it, it was the gays that did it, but I would stick with that story.
But yeah, man, you know, to be honest, though, thank you guys. So I'm glad I got that off my chest. That way, I'll show them this later and post it. I don't want anybody asking me anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? This is what it is with me. You know, this is what's been going on. You know, so thanks, guys, for helping me get that out of the way. I know you didn't mean for it to go that deep, but
No,
hey,
man.
you know what? Thank you.
That's why we're here, man.
Needed that off.
We're here to speak.
No, I'm glad you felt comfortable saying it.
Yeah, you know, well, right now, I mean, even though we're live, it's just me and Kyle and you in here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't surrounded by anybody.
I think Mandy's brother Brandon's watching, and I think other than that, dude, I think that's the only people that are paying attention to this right now. So
for now.
no, I never get live views. I always get more views in like the weeks after.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like people check it out later when they, you know what I mean? It's convenient. I wanted to set up my live account, but that's the one thing that I don't like about live feed is that a lot of times people come back to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You did you share it on mine?
By the way, Claire said that, well, she's been watching it live for a while, not every bit of it, but she said that as far as callings go, Kyle, for the sound quality wise, that if she wasn't sitting here watching me talk on the phone, that she would think I was there.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
It sounds pretty
Yeah, it
good.
sounds great.
I can hear you
too.
through the headphones and stuff, and it
Very
sounds
well
pretty good.
too. Yeah, I was kind of surprised because it's my first time hearing on this podcast, like in call. Yeah, it sounds great.
I haven't actually been able to hear it yet. I've just been kind of
Yeah,
open.
it sounds great. I'm surprised how well I can hear you, to be honest.
Good deal.
Yeah. So, like I said, and also, since we're on that subject, Kyle, you're doing a great job. By the way, I just want to let you know.
Thanks, man.
Since you started this, you know what I mean. It's actually coming along very nicely, and you're picking up. I do studio. I have my own studio, Birdnest Studios. Check it out. Anyways, but ever since he started, he's came a long ways. I can't believe how much you've actually learned. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
man,
doing great
It's easy to do when it's something you enjoy.
in a short period of time. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I stopped rolling and stuff like that, and
Just out of curiosity, nobody asks you questions. Let me ask you a question. What made you decide you wanted to do a podcast, anyways? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know, man. Like I started listening to him and stuff, and like getting super into him, and it started with me listening to Joe Rogan, and just like all the like different stuff
Great
that was
podcast,
on there,
by the way. Yeah,
and it's so diverse and so many like different guests and people that he gets to speak with and stuff like that, and I really like it. And then I started to listen to other podcasts and stuff, and get more and more into it, and like I've met a lot of people through like MMA and stuff like that. Tons of pro fighters, tons of amateur fighters, loads of interesting people that I never would have, you know what I mean, from all different walks of life that I never would have came in contact with through, us rolling and stuff like that, man. And I like expanding myself and reaching out to other people and speaking with other people that, aren't necessarily from the same place as me, like the same wavelength, like the same, doing the same stuff. So
Like the jiu-jitsu of sociology.
Do what?
I said it's like the jiu-jitsu of sociology.
right.
So, yeah. So I mean, like I just, it's just something that I'm into, and I'm damn near 30 years old. I don't really box or roll that much anymore or do anything like that. So, it was a nice, easy transition into something that I like to do. And the cool thing about it too is, like I can involve my friends in it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And we can all sit here and have a good time and have a conversation that we would be having on any random Saturday night anyway.
Yep. That's why I think it's more comfortable doing this too.
My headphone thing.
That's why I think it's more comfortable as
Right,
well. That's why I think it's more comfortable as well, because this is something we would normally talk about. You know what I mean?
Right. Like
It's
this is the conversation we'd be having anyway.
Yeah.
So
Oh, definitely.
I definitely think it's a really cool outlet, and podcasting is sort of a new thing, even though there's a million podcasts out there. I think
I just found out about it, 6 months ago, probably.
right.
If not less than that. I didn't know it existed.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, how are you like into podcasts now?
Oh, I spend 40-plus hours a week listening to it.
Right.
Granted, I do at work, but
Right. No, I mean, but
it's a big part of my life now.
but I don't, like it's to the point. Yeah, that's how I am too. Like I don't listen to the radio anymore at all. All I listen to is podcasts.
And I think
Well,
podcast is a lot better too, because you get the real in-depth conversations. You know what I mean?
Right.
when you don't have anybody who is faking what's going on, who they're being, it's real.
Yep.
And there's something to be said about that. Like radio, it's all fake. It's fake. It's all about selling whatever their ad space is. So that's why they're saying what they're saying and doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So with podcasts, it's free to put on a podcast. You got sponsors, yes, it's how you make a living. But everybody that has a podcast didn't start out making a living on it. So they are doing what they're doing because it's real.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's intriguing and important about it.
And yeah, like you were saying about radio, none of it's fake or set up. In a podcast, anything, especially a podcast like this, anything could be said to its own opinion, and you can't, anybody can voice their opinion. You can't get mad about it though, because everybody has an opinion. You know what I mean? My friends that I'm good friends with, they have opinion that I may not agree on, but I mean, it's their opinion.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Man.
Absolutely.
So, let's see. What do you think about Holly Holm fighting? I can't even remember her name now. Misha Tate.
Tate?
Yeah. How do you think that fight goes?
Oh, geez. You know, who knows?
I
Who
mean,
knows?
yeah.
You have never seen a fight like this for a title in the women's division at 145 in your life, ever. It has never existed. Always been Ronda Rousey. Always.
Right.
So, how
Since
do
day
I
one.
think it's going to be? How do I think it's going to be? I don't know. I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. I think you're going to see a different side of both that you've ever seen before.
I agree. I
That's
think
for sure.
I think at the end of the day, you're gonna see Tate end up with the belt.
You think so?
Yeah, because she's got an aggressive wrestling style, which is Holly Holm's. You know, it's her weakness. If you watched Holly's 2 UFC fights before she fought Ronda, they were I think they were both decision fights, like just kind of lackluster decision fights.
Right.
And so with this fight, I think she poses a hell of a lot more of a threat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the takedown and stuff like that. I mean, you know, we've seen Ronda throw people around with judo throws and stuff like that, but it was never, you know, she has shit takedowns.
Right.
Whereas Tate doesn't. Tate has good takedowns, and she's going to bring her a fight.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
I don't know. I mean, look at Holly Holm. She's from a land where animals fucking beat the shit out of people. They beat the shit out of each other. They had boxing kangaroos. I mean, really? Like, she is going to smash.
She's in her natural habitat.
She's going to smash her. She's going to. She has more experience than anybody else out there. Anybody else out there. Hands down women's division. 145 combined, they have the same amount of time as each state.
I agree.
That's what I think.
I agree.
I
but
think she is going to come out the victor, and she's going to smash her.
you think Homo?
Look, dude, what did Tate do against Ronda Rousey? Oh, she lost in the first round.
But dude. I'm telling you, it's a stylistic difference. You can't play MMA math, Ryan.
Nope.
You can't.
I
You can't. This
understand that.
person
I
did this
understand
against
that.
this person
Yep.
because it's not going to work out like that. I think.
I understand that.
I think
But
Holm has good
I-
striking, but I think that Misha Tate is aggressive enough that she's going to shoot for a takedown, and when she does, she's not going to get caught in a judo throw or get caught in a submission from Holm. She's going to stay pressed up against her,
but-
and she's going to
but
neutralize
guess
her
what?
striking by taking the fight to the cage and pressing.
Guess what? Ronda Rousey's awesome at taking people down and then throwing them or
No,
whatever.
no,
have you.
she's
Well-
awesome at throwing people. She has bullshit takedowns. As you seen when she tried to shoot against Holly Holm, and
well,
it looked like her
Misha
fucking knee
Tate-
went out, and she did the
Misha
stanky
Tate
leg.
goes to shoot in, and she doesn't take Holly Holm down because Holly Holm has never been taken down, and then she gets kicked in the fucking head or
But Holly
punched in the head.
Holmes never fought a wrestler like her.
Hmm?
Holly Holmes never fought a wrestler like her.
She better be working on a wrestling game. I mean, I'm pretty
She
sure.
never fought a judo person like Ronda Rousey until she knocked her out.
No, you're right. You're right. But see, there's a difference though.
Holly,
You know the problem with the Ronda fight, Ryan, was Ronda listened to everybody say that her hands were good for the last 2 fights before that, and she bought into her own hype, and she tried to strike with Holly until she found out she was outclassed and she was already rocked, and she couldn't fight.
and then kept chasing her.
And she
on
kept
top of
chasing
that.
her,
Yeah.
and she kept pushing
She was
forward.
knocked out way. She was knocked out way before she hit the ground.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
She was knocked out before she ever went to the corner after her first round.
Yeah, definitely.
And I do agree with you. But you know what? It's really it's really
I
fun
say
to
this
talk
is a-
shit and
Right.
to make this thing. You know what? I think it's going to be a war. It's going to be a battle. That's what I think.
I think Holmes
I hope it.
gonna get pushed against the cage and either taken down, or she's just gonna get pressed, man, and it's gonna neutralize her striking. And I don't think she has much else but that.
I don't think she can counter and keep her from pushing and pressing.
Not when she's pressed up against the cage, man. It's hard to counter in short range like that. You know, if she's got no distance to throw punches,
Isn't
she
she a
can't do
Muay-
shit.
Right.
Isn't she a Muay Thai person?
No, she's a boxer. She's
Boxer.
got no Muay Thai.
Yeah,
She has no Muay Thai.
No, she's just. I don't want to say she has no Muay
No
Thai
Muay
because I
Thai,
think she
but-
may have done a couple fights. I'm not really sure, but I know the majority of her stuff where she's like big name. It's from boxing.
yeah, boxing her all the way, and with
But
Ronda
she's
being
also-
more judo, you know.
She's also been training with Greg Jackson and Winklejohn forever. So I'm sure she knows some ground game and stuff like that, but that's just not her, not her go-to. And she may surprise the hell out of people too. She might have ground game. I don't know. I just don't think she's got Miesha Tate caliber ground game,
No,
Yeah.
and I don't think she's got what it takes to push her off to strike.
Well, if she's smart, what she's been doing ever since she got into MMA is she's been working on her ground game, and then when she gets a fight lined up, she works on what she's good at. That would be the smart move. That way,
Right.
all along for the last, 2 years or whatever have you. I don't know how long she's been in there. I didn't know who the fuck she was until she was going to fight Ronda Rousey. But let's say she's been in there for 2 years. Now she has 2 years where she's been training on her ground game, on her jiu-jitsu, on her Muay Thai, all the amount of game that she has not developed as a professional. That's what she needs to work on. And then in your training camp, you work on what you do well.
Right.
And once you get to a point that you can establish the things that you have been working on, that's when you put them in there.
yep,
If she's smart, that's what she'll do. Because the women's division is at a point that you can do that with. The men's, maybe not. But the women's, yeah, absolutely. And that's what she needs to do. She's an athlete. She's a killer. She's strong. I think if she plays the right game, she can totally walk away with the belt still.
Right.
And I
Well,
hope she does.
I can't. I think that it's going to be a win for Miesha Tate, but I can't completely counter out because look how she fought against Rousey. She postured out at every time Rousey went to grab a hold of her, she postured out. She postured out and stood up, and stood tall and got her hips out from underneath her, so she wouldn't get thrown.
Right, exactly.
She's definitely an intelligent fighter.
Yes.
I've got to give her that.
I think she's definitely progressed ever since her fight with Ronda. You know what I mean?
Right.
Definitely stepped up her game.
So, you know who Tim Kennedy is? The UFC fighter. He's in the military. He's a special forces sniper and a Green Beret. He's been targeted by ISIS. They threatened him.
What? Why?
I've seen something about that. I didn't read it, though.
I didn't see nothing about that.
It said it was recently notified by the FBI of credible threats against him by the terror group ISIS. But he's such a badass dude that the FBI offered him different tiers of assistance to ensure his safety, and he told him no thanks.
Wow.
Dude, he's not scared. He don't give a shit.
Where is he?
Do what?
Where is he? Is he overseas?
I believe right now he's doing something military-wise. I don't think he's overseas, but I know he's not actively fighting right now because...
Yeah, for him to say no thanks, he would have to be over here, I would think. Even if he was a nobody, say fucking no thanks, and you're getting threatened by ISIS, if you're over there, that's signing your death certificate, no matter what.
Right.
Even if you're President Obama. You're getting wiped out. So he's got to be over here.
It says that he right now is he had some kind of training thing he had to do is why he's not fighting in the UFC, but he's supposed to be taking a fight with Vitor Belfort in March.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
Coming up, so that'll be a good fight. I don't know, man. I kind of think some of the ISIS stuff is just they're just trying to scare tactics and get as many people scared about shit as they can right now. And he has a big name. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? The terrorists get their power from fear, not their power from what they can do.
Right.
Exactly.
No, I agree.
Exactly.
They have limited power. That's why they do these bombings that affect 100 to 1,000 people. It's enough to get people scared, absolutely. But if you really had power, you'd sit there with a force and you would take over and you would capture hundreds of thousands. And they can't do it. They're a bunch of little bitches and they can't do it.
Mm-mm.
Right. Did you buy your Powerball ticket for this week, Ryan? This weekend?
What's that?
Did you buy your Powerball ticket for today?
For today, no.
No.
Nope.
You were just going after the two billion, like
Oh,
everybody
that
else.
was good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what would you have done? What would have been the course of action had you won that?
Oh. Well, there's for me or for Justin.
No, I'm saying for you. And then I'm going to ask Justin next what he would do with his.
No.
Obviously, you have your taxes you have to pay.
So, all right. So let me ask you this.
I would want to own some property somewhere where I can get away from everybody I know.
Do you take the
Family
money
and
in the
everything.
payments, or do you take it all at once?
I would take it all at once.
Okay. All right. Now continue with
And-
what you were saying you would do with it.
I would go and I would live, or not live, but I would have some place for me and my family to go away from everybody that we know in the world anytime we want. And I would never invite anybody there or tell them where it's at. After that, I would hook my family and close friends up with enough money to where they would not have to worry. I would invest money. I'm the type of person that I have to stay, for me to be happy, I have to stay active and I have to work hard.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I like working with my hands. I would probably buy a whole bunch of rental properties and so forth and stay busy with that and hire my friends to go and work on those things with me.
That's great.
That
Yeah.
would make me happy.
Right.
For most people, that's shitty work. That's day job type bullshit. But that would make me happy, and that's what I would do.
That's great.
I would also like to go and train in martial arts like jujitsu and things like that, and spend a lot of time doing that.
Right.
That would be my course of action. And invest a whole bunch. Obviously, put money back for my kids and grandkids and things like that. Set money aside that no one can mess around with that I know went to them. But
Right. I would.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would take my money and just buy Hicks and Gracie. And
Buy
just,
what?
Hicks and Gracie.
By Hicks and Gracie.
And just roll all day.
Oh, there's something else you want to do. What is it? I know.
No, I always tell Mandy we would immediately just split the money in half and then part ways forever.
He's lying.
If I had $1.5 billion, I would buy a Florida Gracie and have to choke on my kid 3 times a day.
What'd you say you would
No,
what?
say that again. Say that again. You kind of cut out. Say that again. I heard you, but say that again.
Just fucking around. I'm getting attacked right now. I'm spending off people.
You in trouble, man?
He's getting murdered. Well, we're live. Oh, man. Oh, also, Jace is tuned in, too.
Oh, that's cool. What's up, Jace?
What's up, Jace? DCA. What's up, Raz? What's up, player?
So what would you have done with your money, Burnham?
Actually, I thought about this a week before the Powerball because I knew I was
Everybody in America thought about it. A week before the
I thought about
Powerball
it a week
drawing.
before when they started talking about how much it was and how it was the biggest in history.
Dude, all week I just thought about, man, dude,
Yeah,
fuck this
if we
job.
could just-
I can't wait till I can roll in this
Right,
bitch
yep.
tomorrow and throw middle fingers at everybody.
Bah. How'd that go off of half baked? Fuck you, you're
Yeah.
cool.
You know
Fuck
how-
you, I'm out of here.
You know how it worked for me?
Yeah.
I went back to work and kept my mouth shut, but I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, I'll talk about it. Me personally though, I would put probably a large, huge amount of it away from my daughter to know that she's set for life. And all my family members, I would make sure that they had anything they wanted, all their houses paid off, their land, everything that they wanted, that they struggle with their mortgages, was theirs.
Right.
My close personal friends, I would make sure they were set, and I would expand my studio, and I would get me a couple houses in some nice suburban areas. I'm not gonna locate where or disclose that, but pretty much as long as my daughter's set, to be honest, I don't know, I just want to make sure that when I'm gone, that everybody that's left behind is set, and I'll sleep well in my grave knowing that.
Right.
That's what I do.
No, I thought about it too, man. The money, like how they give you the option whether you could take it all at once or then get what is it, $100,000 a month?
It's more than
equivalent to what you won divided by either 20 or 30 years.
All right, so if you did the 30 years or whatever, that would leave you with a decent amount of money a month. And I think if you do it that way, it keeps you honest. You're not going to end up broke.
Here's the catch on it, though. If you die, your family doesn't get anything else because the contract is with you.
Oh, really?
So
See,
that is why people take the chunk sum, because they can then set up trust funds for their family.
Yep.
Right.
It's not Social Security. You die and you get what you deserve. No, it's not that. It is you die and the contract is gone. So you take that money, you set it up, you be smart, you hook up your family and your children and your wives and the people that are close to you. That's what you do. You pay more on it right now, but it's probably better in the long run. Honestly, if you won $1.6 billion, do you think you're not going to do enough coke to die in the next 10 years?
You think what?
Do you think you're not going to do enough coke in the next 10 years to die?
Right.
You're
Enough
going to
coke?
party your ass off and you're going to fucking die. You're going to have a heart attack.
Fair enough,
That's
dude.
what's going to happen.
I'm in Chet's shitty shape right now. I'd probably have a heart attack if I won. I wouldn't even get to cash the bitch in, dude. Mandy'd be walking in with my fucking ticket going, it sucks he died, but...
Well, I was the one that actually purchased the ticket. Yeah, you're right.
The debit card, don't worry about that. That has nothing to do with anything we're talking about.
Right.
Just give me my fucking money. Oh, man. Yeah, that's, dude, no. You know what? The perfect investment. You know what I would buy? The Playboy Mansion. It's for sale right now.
Oh, do you really want that,
though? Dude, my God.
I want
bro.
you to think about
Bro,
this real quick.
you know what the catch is for the Playboy Mansion if you buy it? Hugh Hefner gets to live in the Playboy Mansion until he dies. That's in the writing. That's in the fine print.
So you got this creepy old man walking around?
No, dude, this creepy old man that's got every great party ever comes to you because of this. I mean, you just be like, shut up, Hef, go to your room. And then you have this badass party.
So we don't have to take care of him when he's sick.
Well,
or is
yeah,
that in
dude.
the
I
contract?
don't know if changing his diapers in the contract, but I mean, for the Playboy Mansion, you almost have to do it. I mean, if you've got Playboy Mansion money to buy it, you've got a private nurse kind of money too, so you just have to. I mean, you just have to pay for a nurse.
I would do it, but I wouldn't be swimming in the pools. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a good investment.
Ryan, would you go swimming in the pool at the Playboy Mansion?
Just stay out of the hot
Well, in
tub.
the pool at the Playboy Mansion, yes.
Would you get in the hot tub at the Playboy Mansion?
Yeah.
You just have to pull
There
the
it
condom.
is.
You just got to pull the condoms out of the filter before you get in.
I put it back on my dick and I fuck somebody with it before I got in the fucking tub.
Fair enough.
Recycling, motherfucker.
Recycling. I'm saving the planet.
Green motherfucker.
You just-
I am not going to throw away a condom.
Look,
that's
listen,
not broken yet.
Listen, dude. You just turn it inside out, swish it around in the water, and put it back on the other
Oh,
way.
you guys are sick.
Exactly like I do with my underwear.
Well, this podcast took a turn.
A good turn. The best turn.
Oh, wow.
That's great. We should start doing these live on Periscope, too. That would be really cool. Oh, man. That's, yeah, that would be the ultimate investment, though. I don't know that I would have to go with it though.
That's probably all right. I'd go swimming in it too, I guess. Fuck it.
You just have to, yeah, dude. Just push the floaty shit out of the way. Try not to let it hit your face.
You like crab soup? Who doesn't enjoy crab soup? I mean, really. You pay good money for that on the East Coast.
Yeah, dude. You jump into the pool and you're like, "Is this salt water? There's crabs everywhere." Awesome. It's funny because it's true. Dude, you know how many STDs have probably changed hands at that place?
Yeah.
All of them. That's how many.
Has Charlie Sheen been there?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, I'm not going swimming.
You know what happens when you get an STD from Charlie Sheen? You are winning, motherfucker.
You're
winning.
Are winning. Maybe he's right.
You are a fucking rock star from Mars.
Oh, man.
That crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, got to. It's hard not to.
Not even mad at him. He just gave everybody AIDS. It'd be all right. It's just a little bit of AIDS. It's not the same AIDS
It's
as
not,
1970s
yeah,
AIDS. It's different.
They're getting close to a cure.
You're high on Charlie Sheen, that's what. That motherfucker.
Dude, I could see a scenario where somebody having sex with Charlie Sheen gets high because of the drugs that he's got in his body.
They come in his eye and it goes that much faster because of all the fucking
It's
retina.
just fucking cocaine.
Oh, man. I think that drink's kicking in.
Oh, man. All right. I see in other news, dude, the Backstreet Boys singer Nick Carter was arrested Wednesday night in Key West, Florida, after he punched a bouncer. How tough are you if you're in a fucking boy band?
Did he slap him or punch him? There's a difference.
Somebody said something about his frosted tips, and he got mad and slapped the fuck out of him. Poor guy. His bail was set at $1,500 Thursday afternoon, and he couldn't afford it.
Which one did you say it was?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't
Which
know
one
if he
did you
can
say it
afford
was?
Nick Carter.
Nick Carter. Can you imagine being the guy that got slapped by Nick Carter, though?
Yeah, that's
Carter's back. Okay.
that's a terrible story.
Yeah.
It's almost as bad of a story like Aaron's party.
Aaron's party.
Yeah, it was Aaron Carter's brother. It was like his hit song. I've got a useless like category of like boy band knowledge. I don't know why. All right. We're at an hour and a shit ton of time, so I think we're gonna go ahead and end this one.
Yep.
Ryan, thank you for calling in, buddy.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
That's a lot of fun.
Thank you for being on, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks
Always
for
a
having
pleasure,
me, man.
guys.
Yeah.
All right, we're out.